Hey guys, this is CJ with Reinvented CrossFit. I'm going to be going over some tips for week 1 of the Wodapalooza Online Challenge and Qualifier 2019 for you guys this week. So today I just finished up the first workout of the 2019 qualifier, which is the 9-minute AMRAP of snatches and overhead squats and double unders. So I put together a couple tips for you guys right after I finished, and I figured I would share them with you now. First tip I have is regarding timing of when you're gonna chalk. I found that it was easier if I would chalk up fully at the start of the round, so before I picked up the barbell, if I chalked up my hands a lot so that I wouldn't have to break up later on because my hands were slipping. So especially when you're getting really tired, chalking up might help you get a little bit of a better grip on the bar. Second thing I would recommend for you guys to do is to keep the overhead squats unbroken. I found that when I started to put the bar down, that was a problem for me. So the first time I broke those ones up where I was on the round of 15. If I stayed unbroken, I probably would have gotten back to the rope at the end of 18. But I find with something like an overhead squat, if you break, you tend to look at the bar a lot more than if you broke something else. Like let's say the hang power snatches. If I were to break that up, it'd be easier for me to get started again on something like that. So I would recommend gunning through that set of overhead squats if you can. Maybe take a couple deep breaths at the top before you keep going. So let's say you're on like the round of 12, maybe do 7, a couple deep breaths, go and do 5 more, then put the bar down. Next thing I can tell you is that you have to relax on the jump rope. It's only 30 reps, which was taking me about 15 to 20 seconds if I was doing it unbroken. I also have pretty fast double unders, which is, for me, something I can go sets of 100 usually and not have an issue. But if this is something where you're struggling, let's say you just kind of got double unders, you can reliably maybe do 20. I would say maybe do 15 and 15. If you can do big sets, it has to be unbroken unless you trip. It's only 30, so really it's not too bad. It's just all about like keeping you moving, and it's just to try and spike your heart rate a little bit before you get back to the bar. Next thing I'm gonna recommend is about your hang power snatch cycling. So I tend to use a technique where I tend to bounce the bar off of my hip instead of coming all the way down to my knee. I found that that was a lot faster, especially because this is only 75 pounds. If you can stick with that technique the entire time, that would be much faster than if you had to go down to pausing at the hip, going down to your knee, and then doing the full pull. The fifth tip I'd like to share with you guys is when you should break up on the barbell. As I said before, I said you should gun through the overhead squats, but once you get to maybe the round of 12 hang power snatches and 12 overhead squats is a lot of volume to do without putting the bar down. What I recommend doing is dropping the bar when you have about 1 or 2 more hang power snatches left in your set. So if you were on the set of 12, ideally you would drop the bar at 11, shake it out, breathe, pick the bar back up, do your 12th rep, go straight into your 12 overhead squats, finish them, drop the bar. That would be the most efficient. It's kind of similar to a strategy a lot of people use on DT, where they choose to do 11 deadlifts, then pick up the 12th, go into their hang power cleans, do 8 hang power cleans, go into their 9th rep, go straight into the push jerks, finish all 6, and then drop the bar. Very similar concept here, because once the bar gets over your head, that's where it needs to be for overhead squats. So might as well save yourself from snatching an extra time. The final tip I have for you is probably the most important. You do not want to burn out on this workout. It's very deceiving. Even though it's only 75 pounds and my snatch is much higher than 75 pounds, once I started to get to the round of 15, I started catching them into low powers towards the end of my sets. Why? Because my pulling was a lot more fatigued, I was really tired, I was breathing really heavy, my legs were burning. You do not want to come out and finish the first 3 rounds in like a minute and then crash and burn. When picking a number, let's say maybe like I'm gonna finish up to round 12, and I'm gonna make it take this long just so that I have more in the tank at the end. It's much better in a workout like this to speed up than it is to slow down. If you wanna stay in the loop with what's going on at the gym, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow our Instagram at Reinvented CrossFit. I will see you guys next time with Event 2 tips.